Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to our last video of the Arkanoid makeover. And yeah, this is going to be a short video. We're going to finish this cabinet up here. So what I'm doing here is just getting ready to apply our side art. And this is reproduction side art. This actually came from Escape Pod online. I think Rich at This Old Game is currently reproducing this side art. So that should be available on that site, I imagine, hopefully within the next few months. It's really cool side art. And he's doing his from New Old Stock. So I don't know if that'll be screen printed or if it'll just be, solvent or whatever. But this stuff looks pretty darn good. I compared it with my New Old Stock side art, and the colors and everything were pretty well spot on. So I'm pretty happy with it. So what I'm doing here is I'm just making some measurements where I should put it. And I think I ended up doing like 7 inches down from the top and 4 inches from the back, something like that. And now that it's centered the way I want it to, I'm just going to hinge it here. So I use this, the same blue masking tape. This stuff works really well. I like how wide it is, especially for doing something like this. And here I'm just double checking before I put any more of the tape down. I just want to make sure that it is spot on, 4 inches all the way, and it's square. And actually, I kind of used the grid lines. You can see the pattern a little bit better now in this light, at least under on the laminate, and I can use some of those lines on that grid pattern to square things up as well, since the laminate went on pretty square. But I always use a tape measure just to double check. Never want to assume anything. So I'm being pretty abundant. I usually, 2 or 3 pieces of tape. I don't want this artwork going anywhere. And so I'm going to do something a little bit different this time around. The method's the same. I'm going to peel some of it back and work one side down onto the cabinet and then the other. This time I'm not doing the wet method. I've done that in the past where you spray. You can use like Wrap Attack or some sort of solution that allows you to reset the artwork if you screw it up. And it also, I think it may help a little bit with air bubbles. I'm not sure, but this stuff's really good. It's not supposed to it's like got this air, I can't remember the name of it, air degress or whatever. It's basically, it's supposed to breathe better than some other stuff so that there aren't any bubbles. But I'm going to do something a little bit different. And I start with a squeegee like I normally do, just to get it started. So I'm just going to come in here. And this squeegee has a little felt tip at the end so that you don't have to worry about scratching the artwork. But what I'm doing now is I'm going to use the same rubber mallet that rubber roller that I use for my laminate. And I'm going to use that to apply the artwork. And I got this tip from my buddy Chris, and he swears by this. He uses a roller, much like this one, for all of his art. Full vinyl wraps, everything. And I gotta say, this works really slick. It's I think it's a lot easier than using a squeegee, and you're getting that constant contact with the vinyl and the surface. And you can put a little more pressure since it's rubber. You don't have to worry about scratching anything, and I think there's a lot less room for error. To me, it's a lot easier. So I think that's what I'm going to start doing from now on. So now that I got the top there, I got the the one side mounted, adhered to the surface. Now I can go do the other side, and I can just do that whole side, and I'm kind of rolling up the backing a bit. Now, anytime you're doing large side art, like a full side, like a vinyl wrap, it really pays to have a second person that can hold on to that vinyl. But when you're doing it alone, you kind of have to improvise. And so sometimes I'll just roll it, and I'll use that backing rolled up to prevent it from hitting the surface. But if I was doing something much larger, I probably would opt to wait until I had someone to help me, whether that's my girlfriend um or like another pal or a buddy of mine, someone that can assist you and just hold on and be patient, hold on to that other end. But this is going off really well. I mean, this is a small piece of side art. It's not very big, and this roller is working really nice. Yeah, I think I'm going to do this for the rest of my games when I have to apply art. It really works well. That was a great tip. Voila. Looks pretty snazzy. I know I've said this like a gazillion times, but I absolutely love that laminate. I think that it really complements this game well, especially um, with the other. If you look at the theme of the game, the other artwork and stuff, there's a lot of patterns. So even on the little yellow behind Revenge of Doe on that side art there, that yellow kind of grid, there's all those patterns, and even in the gameplay, in the backgrounds on the stages, there's all these patterns. So finding this laminate, I think was the way to go. I looked at, oh, I don't know, like 20 other samples of different patterns, and this one was by far the best. So we're just doing the same thing here. I sped it up again. You saw the other side. So it's just kind of rinse and repeat. Cutting off the backing there. And again, I'm just going to start with the squeegee just to get it just started. Oh, had a little crease in there. Caught it early enough. I mean, I know I I'm not sold on the wet method unless I'm doing like maybe a full vinyl wrap. But even then, uh, I think the key is to just start it wet, but you don't have to do the whole thing. When I did eyes, Rockola eyes, I had a lot of bubbles when I was doing the wet method. I had to, even after I squeegeed them, as many of them out, the liquid out, I had to wait until that evaporated like the next day or dried up before those bubbles went away. It was actually, I think, more work. Yeah, you don't have as much room for error, but if you do it right, I think dry is just fine. So here's my freshly powder coated white coin door. Now that's obviously not original, but it's your white midway coin door, and I think that turned out really slick. Those guys did a really good job. I'm very lucky that I have a good powder coater so close to me that has a quick turnaround time and cheap prices. And then here's the marquee brackets that they did as well. So now I got to put everything in this coin door back together. It's a tedious process, which is why this is all sped up, and it's not very interesting. So yeah, it's. I mean, these are the coin mech brackets here. We've got um, we've got the little 25-cent inserts, the bezels, the reject buttons and bezels. So there's a lot. It's surprising how many little parts go into one of these coin doors, and I don't really enjoy putting them back together. It's a lot of little tiny screws, and yeah, it's I don't know. It's just monotonous. You just keep putting things together and tying everything down. It's nice that it goes together fairly simple, but yeah, I didn't feel any need to really walk through this, so that's why I sped it up. I do kind of have problems. A lot of these tiny screws with coin doors, I don't know what it is about them, but they get stripped so easily, and I end up having to buy a lot of new ones a lot of the time, because they're either really stripped and frozen down, or by the time I get them out, they're just mush. So I don't know. I don't know what it is about those little screws, but they piss me off. But yeah, we're making good progress here. some of this stuff has to go on in a very specific order. But I removed the coin mechs, and I didn't put any in there because I'm not using them. The game is going to be set up on, well, it's technically not on a free play, but I used, you saw in my previous video. If you haven't, I'd check it out. But I used one of One Circuit's easy or coin ups, his easy coin up, and so you hit a start button and it adds a credit and starts the game. So I'm not using any sort of coin mech in this matter. I'm not going to be throwing a quarter in there, and even if I was, I would have a credit button that would replace that. So or some sort of free play. All right, so now we're done with the coin door. We're just gonna throw it in the cabinet here, and man, I love how sharp that looks. Especially with the white T molding, I think that was the right choice. To be fair, I was very reluctant on getting this coin door powder coated white because I didn't know, in my head I had an image like of how it would look, but until it's really done, until it's there on the cabinet, it's very tough to get a visual for how things are going to look. And so part of me was wondering if I was going to absolutely hate this thing when I got it. But when I threw it on the cabinet, when I put it up there, I thought it was spot on. It just really popped. And this is my one time to go unoriginal because there is no dedicated version of this game. But to be fair, what I was getting at is that when I was in my storage unit, I discovered I had a second Midway coin door. And so I figured I had nothing to lose. If I didn't like this, I would probably just bring that other coin door in and have that powder coated black. So, but I'm glad I did this. I really am. I think that really complements the game, and the white T molding really matches it nicely. So I think it's pretty slick. I'm pretty happy with it. But now I'm just mounting the coin door. Nothing exciting. There's the 4 bolts, of course, and getting those screws or the nuts on the other end. But yeah, I think it's turned out really nice. I'm very excited about it. I don't know. What do you guys think? Did I make a mistake here? Okay, got my lock on. And now we're going to put our marquee on. And here's those white marquee brackets. Again, I don't have any other game that has a colored marquee bracket or something that's not black. So I just figured, if I'm doing the white T molding, if I'm using some white to balance everything out, let's do the marquee brackets too. Plus, if I'm bringing 2 parts, essentially the coin door is 2 parts. If I'm bringing 2 parts to the powder coater, I might as well make it 4, because you typically pay money for the startup. If it's not a common color like black, you typically have like a startup cost, a preparation. And so it benefits you to add a lot more parts to the equation because you're getting a better price per part. So that's what I thought with the marquee brackets. And as you can see here, I think it looks really sharp. And you can see in the marquee, you've got a little bit of white, right? You've got some on the lettering, some on the Voss, some on those blue circles, the capsules. So the white, I really think complements the blue in the artwork and in the game. And again, you can see there, I put cool daylight bulbs in because it brings out the blue better on the marquee. And now we get to put the control panel on, and this will complete the ensemble. And of course, I've got my 2 Molex plugs down there. One is for the control panel itself, for the controls, and the other is for Adam's coin up, One Circuit's coin up. I recommend those. You've probably seen that video, but if you haven't, check that one out. It's a cool video, but it's a really cool device. And they're $20 a pop, shipped. And I totally recommend it if you have a game that has a terrible free play. And just securing it, putting the latches down there. Just 2 latches, 1 on each side. Pretty simple. And now I think I'll probably test it out here, make sure everything works. Or not. I think I did already. All right, so we're done. And I gotta say, for a new project like this, something I've never done before, I think this really turned out sharp. I'm really happy. I love this laminate, and you can see the detail more, uh, how it acts with the side art here. But you can really see that grid pattern and the level of detail. There's these like 3D shapes that kind of pop out. It's almost like this laminate was designed for Arkanoid. It's crazy how good it complements the game. But it was fun to have all that creative freedom to do something that's not dedicated or not necessarily a proper way to do it. So it was fun to kind of design this how I would have if I was making this game. But yeah, there you have it. That's Arkanoid 2 Revenge of Doe. And I do have plans for more Arkanoid videos, but they're going to be gameplay videos. We're going to talk about the actual game itself and play it. So, I love how that looks. Again, a couple blemishes in the control panel, but not that noticeable. I can live with it. I think it looks fantastic. But yeah, there you have it. Thanks for watching and tuning in and sitting with me through these videos. Let me know what you think of this narration, this commentary. It's something different that I wanted to try, and for me at least personally, this will make it a lot easier for me to pump out more videos. But thanks for watching.